make us Edomites?
I hate my life.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us.
The only deliverance the other nations are going to get is deliverance right into slavery. They're going to be our slaves, thus saith the Lord.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us. Why? God, why?
Jeremiah 30:16 tells you every last one of the other nations, which are non-Israelites, are going into captivity. They're going into slavery underneath the Israelites when the Israelites go back into rulership. When is the Israelites going to go back into rulership? When the Lord comes. That's what he's coming to do. He's coming to set up the Israelites in rulership, beginning with King David. And when I say rulership, meaning the planet Earth, we're going to be ruling the planet Earth in righteousness. After he puts down the wicked. Who's the wicked? The Edomites, which are in power right now. Who are the Edomites? The so-called white man.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us. Why? God, why?
Praise the Lord, for he is greatly to be feared. He removed the wicked and put us righteous in power, to victory and the dawn of a new era.
And when I say rulership, meaning the planet Earth, we're going to be ruling the planet Earth in righteousness. After he puts down the wicked. Who's the wicked? The Edomites, which are in power right now. Who are the Edomites? The so-called white man.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord Yahweh. Praise ye the Lord.
Begin with those top banking families, which happen to be so-called white people. We're talking about the Rothschilds, Rockefellers. We're talking about the DuPonts. We're talking about the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, and families like that. Okay, so when Yahushua comes back, he's going to take away their rulership, which they're enjoying right now. That's the long and short of it, of this ministry, man.
Thanks, James. I need 200 pounds by sunset.
Yes, sir. I'm on it, Master.
Why did God make us Edomites?
I hate my life.
Why did God make us Edomites?
I hate my life.
Praise the Lord, for he is greatly to be feared. He removed the wicked and put us righteous in power.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutations to the Hopeful Lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the Hopeful Lake, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right. And what I want to get into this morning, dealing with this uproar, about, the Section 8, all right, the food stamps, all right, and what you're seeing, is bad news, okay, for the Bonnets, all right, and also, just a quick mention, of things going on with war, all right, but ultimately, Esau eating the devil, he's waging war on everybody, on other nations, all right, on the tribes, all right, on Edomites that don't agree, okay, with the new system and the ideology, of Edomite supremacy, okay. So this devil, he's at war from top to bottom, Okay, so we're going to see moves being made internationally, domestically, nationally, and it all leads to prophecy, man. And this is just another phase of prophecy, man. And the scripture spoke about, the woman, all right, suffering in these times. The vintage, should not come. So now we're starting to see these things play out more and more. Okay, and you're dealing with these Edomites. As these women have trusted, these Edomites. All right, the woman of the tribe have trusted the Edomites. Now we're seeing where their trust, is going to get them. Okay, because these government assistance, it was never for, the benefit, okay, of Jake. Okay, it was a way to, all right, incentivize removing the man from being the head. Okay, and see, America, was so prosperous and so wealthy as a nation that they can foot the bill, okay, to be a provider for the women of the tribes. Okay, and what did they do? They took, the respect from the man. Okay, and then empowered the woman and what made her proud. You know, because okay, you use the world and not abuse it. So if you're, a woman that's on this assistance and you're doing what you got to do, cool. You see, but for the most part, this has made the majority of the women proud. Okay, and they begin to what talk down on the men. Okay, they looked at the man as something that's optional, like a man is not needed. They begin to have children, okay, with the mindset of I can do it by myself because they had all this assistance from the government. Okay, when they said they can do it by themselves, they was talking about them and the government. Okay, them and the government can do it by themselves. Okay, because they was never doing it by themselves. You know, either they was depending on Esau's assistance or they was depending on his career. All right, but they was never doing anything by themselves. Okay, and the only thing that came of it was they became proud, rebellious, and they began to look down. All right, on the average Israelite man. Okay, and this is how we've got to where we at now. Okay, and you go here. Let's get a few precepts. I got a video. It's going to go into it. This is second Ezra 8 and 50. It said, many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride, man. So it only gets worse, man, because it says great miseries, man. It's only going to get worse. This is just the beginning. Okay, this is the beginning of the Lord judging the proud. I say that, if you get some type of assistance from the government and you got, because you use the world, you can use this world, you can make this world work in your favor. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. See, but the thing is, when you become proud, okay, and you allow, these government assistance to make you a weapon against your own people, man, against yourself. Okay, first and foremost against your damn self, and then you become what? A weapon against your people, man. Okay, and this is what the devil always wanted. It was never to help the nigga woman. You see, it was never to help the woman. It was to destroy, all right, the structure, all right, of the families of the tribes, man. Okay, so what we're finna see is misery increase for everyone that's proud, man. Okay, and the nigga woman has become extremely proud. The women of the tribes have become proud, man. All right, you go to Sirach 14 and 7. It says, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness, man. See, now we're at the last end of it, and you're seeing the wickedness that the devil was doing the whole time. Because see, Esau used the woman as a throwaway, okay, a throwaway weapon. Okay, Esau didn't look at the nigga woman. You see, the nigga woman, her mind, all right, this devil had her best interest in mind. Okay, because what the woman is short sighted. You see, she didn't see the destruction and the ripple effect that this will have on her people. Okay, making it normal to have these single mother households. Okay, that's not normal. You see, And Esau made that a thing. He glorified it. First he put, because scriptures say, um, where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be also. So the fact that this devil was willing, to put money, okay, he was willing to put his treasure into the nigger woman and the women of the tribes. All right. Well, you got to know where this man's heart is. He hates Jacob. Okay. You see, he hates Jacob. So his heart is towards hatred. So he put money, all right, to fund his hatred towards the tribes. Okay. But remember, he's crafty. So he disguised it as aid. Okay. As assistance. Okay. But what did they do? They just created more poverty, man. Because first you couldn't have a man in the household. All right. And then you had certain other restrictions when you get these assistants on how many hours you can work, do this and that. So that puts a cap on you, okay, on how you can move. You see, and all it did was just create more poverty. And you created this environment where children are growing up with no fathers, no discipline. And now you have, okay, old block, okay, gangs out of control. You see, and then what Esau is doing now, he's sending in his troops to handle the gangs. You see, this was all a play, okay, from the beginning. Now we're seeing the wickedness of what this devil was really doing. It had nothing to do with making sure you had something to eat, okay? It had nothing to do with making sure you had somewhere to stay, okay? It was all about creating, all right, this chaotic environment to where he can later on look at the hero and come and running through, okay, Jake. You see, because now he looks justified in coming to deal with the crime, okay, that's in these neighborhoods, okay. Hey, and then you follow the food stamps and hood, you follow the violence, okay. When you go into these drug infested, all right, gang riddled, all right, communities, okay, you follow the Section 8 and the food stamps in the hood, you follow the violence. All right, and they can build a brand new, and they build brand new apartments and housing communities for hood. Okay, 5 years later, okay, they're the hood and the projects all over again. Okay, because now those children that moved in, them little boys that moved in were 7 to 8. Well, now they 13 and 14, and now they're little terrorists, man. Okay, those women, they're finna go repeat those daughters that was 7, 8, 9 that moved in 5 years ago. Well, guess what? Now they finna be repeat of what their mother is, man. Okay, so this system was never meant, okay, to assist or help. Okay, it was always to keep Jake in his lowest state of impoverished condition, dysfunction, and chaos. All right, and this devil was able to just put enchantments on Jake in this environment, man. So you go let's read this, and I got a video I want to get into. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 30 verse 3. It said, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Okay, because America has such a strong economy that they was able to just finance, okay, housing, okay, and food, okay, for millions and millions of women. Okay, they was able to finance that. You see, and you know, the women got so used to living on that for decades, decades. You talking about generational, you talking about women that they mother got food stamps their whole life and Section 8 their whole life. Their grandmothers, you talking about 2, 3 generations of government assistant household, man. Okay. So this became their trust. Okay, because they've seen generations survive off this. So this became their trust. Okay, but now, all right, Esau is treating the nigger woman like a throwaway. So let's get this word throwaway, and then we'll get into the video. All right. Um, so I said slang meaning for throwaway. It says a throwaway, okay, is something that is disposable or unimportant. Okay, because Esau has already destroyed, okay, Jake as a people. He already has gotten the results that he wants. Okay, from empowering the woman, making her the head, okay, giving her these perks and assistance, all right, making her despise Jake, okay, look down on Jake, no respect for Jake, okay, that's already accomplished. You see? So now the nigga woman is disposable, unimportant. That's why Esau snatching these jobs back, okay, and he's snatching back these benefits because now he finna come through with the sword. All right, you don't led Jake. All right, the nigga woman, okay, has created these little monsters, okay, that Esau can put on the news, okay, of the problem of the earth. So now he's ready to come in with the sword. You see? So now the nigga woman, you're disposable, you're unimportant. Okay, so they throwaways are unimportant, disposable, or not taken seriously. It can also mean something made carelessly or without thought. It says for a person, it says disposable or unimportant. It says a person is treated as though they are easily replaced and have no long-term value. And this is where all right, Esau was at with the nigga woman. Okay, you was valuable when it was time to destroy the family structure of Jake. Okay, when it was time to bring in dysfunction, you see, when he wanted to destroy, okay, the structure. All right, because you look at, you go back to the 40s and 50s, and you see how Jake was thriving. All these different communities Jake would, Jake had, amongst themselves. Okay, certain Jake, was able, to pull some things off in this society, man. That movie, The Bankers, those two Jakes that was able to buy a bank and buy up all their real estate, which is a pretty good movie. It's called The Bankers. Got Samuel Jackson and I forgot the other guy's name, but pretty good movie. But one thing you see in that movie is you see family structure. Okay, the man and woman. You see, man, woman, and child. All right, you go to these communities, they were just popping up everywhere, during the early 1900s, all the way into the 40s and 50s, where you seen family structure. All right, the men were skilled. All right, the women, were homemakers. Okay, you had order, and Jake was able to build. You see, and that was the problem, for Esau Edom. Okay. So what did he do? He disrupted it by weaponizing the woman and incentivizing her, all right, to despise Jake, man, to despise fatherhood. Okay. And he rewarded her for that. You see? But now that the nation is destroyed, okay, because Jake is a Satanist now. Okay. And you look at this generation, NBA young boy, Lil Uzi Vert, Cardi B, Jake is a Satanist now. So Eve is not valuable anymore. She's disposable. Okay, and the mission accomplished. You see, so it's going to get worse from here. It says not to be taken seriously. Someone's feelings, opinions, or contributions are dismissed or considered, okay, insignificant, man. All right, and basically, the talking points of the nigga woman trying to, plead her case in these situations, man. Nobody want to hear that shit, man. All right. Even when they don't hear crime, man, people don't even take you seriously, man. Okay, so let's get to this video. Um, you so like I said, it's to the point where you can't even take the nigga woman seriously, man. That's in this mindset. Okay. So let's play this.
mandatory for anyone on Section 8 to be removed if you have had it more than 2 years, with exceptions.
This is the city I live in. This is disgusting.
My landlord just showed up to my house. She is giving me less than 48 hours to find a place for me and my 6 kids.
HUD Secretary Scott Turner is turning off the programs.
They're cutting Section 8 quietly.
Trump says stop being dependent and become independent. I agree.
Not only did our landlord shut our water and electricity off.
To all the people that's on Section 8, he is giving y'all 2 years to get on your feet.
Section 8 was designed to help. It's meant to provide housing stability for low-income families, seniors, and people with disabilities. A lifeline in a system that often leaves people behind. But today, that lifeline is fraying, and for some, it's snapping. Across the country, tenants with Section 8 vouchers are being evicted, not just because of rising rents or landlord greed, but sometimes because of choices made inside those homes. Missed inspections, lease violations, disputes with neighbors, and yes, in some cases, failure to meet basic responsibilities. It's easy to blame the system, and often that blame is justified. But we also have to talk about personal accountability, because when a voucher is lost, it doesn't just affect one person. It affects families, it affects communities, and it makes it harder for others to access the same support. Landlords are pulling out of the program, cities are tightening rules, and the people who need help most are caught in the middle between policy, paperwork, and personal decisions. This isn't just about eviction. It's about what happens when a safety net becomes a trap. When support is offered, but not protected. When housing is promised, but not sustained. Let's look at the facts, let's hear the stories, and let's ask the hard questions about the system, about the landlords, and about the tenants themselves.
I personally don't agree with a lot of things Trump is saying, but this one specific thing makes sense to me. To all the people that's on Section 8, he is giving y'all 2 years to get on your feet. Trump says stop being dependent and become independent. I agree. I'm not no hating ass bitch. I'm not knocking nobody's situation. But if you really think about it, Section 8 is only to assist you to get on your feet. Section 8 is a stepping stone to get you on your feet. Section 8 is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Government assistance is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Keyword, assistance, to assist you. Y'all done got too comfortable. Too comfortable. There's people that's been on Section 8 for like 10 plus years. That's a long time. Within that amount of time, you should have a lot of money saved up in your bank account, in your savings account. Y'all too busy buying the newest shoes, buying the hottest cars, trying to keep up with the trend, buying designer purses, buying designer clothes, but you're in public housing. If you can buy designers, you can pay your house rent without assistance. Let that sink in. If you can buy designers, you can pay your house rent without assistance. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of single mothers out here also that need those type of assistance. But if you're just comfortably living off Section 8 and don't care, that's crazy to me. That's the reason why nobody else can get in, because y'all be on Section 8 for years. Y'all not thinking outside the box. Y'all being so dependent. Stop being so dependent and let's become independent. This is the city I live in. This is disgusting. Anyone who thinks this is permissible should not be in anybody's leadership. This is a baby's picture.
Fuck them kids. All right. Get y'all ass out of there. All right. This is a whole new regime. Okay? Getting your ass out of there. All right. And this is judgment from the Lord. You know, because like I say, these same women have become what? Proud as hell. All right. Here it is. You a goddamn bum. Without the government, you a bum. Okay. But you become extremely proud. And just like the little Eve was just saying, These same women will have designer this, designer that, be on vacation. Like you on vacation on hood, then your priorities ain't you don't if you on hood, you don't need to go on no goddamn vacation. You need to figure it out in your community. You ain't figured it out in your community yet. You know? So now the Lord putting an end to this, man. All right, and it's gonna increase. These things gonna increase, man, and no one's gonna feel sorry, man. All right, the nigga woman has burnt all her bridges in the earth, man. She done talked all this shit. Okay, so now we finna just see the debacle and the dismantling of this pride. All right, of the nigga woman, man. All right, so let's play this some more.
They're cutting Section 8 quietly. I've received a letter stating that they're downsizing my voucher with no reason. After approved accommodation was it's the truth. Donald Trump's budget for 2025 slashes HUD funding by 43%, over $30 billion, sending local housing authorities into panic and reducing housing sizes like mine. And it doesn't even matter if you have a disability, if your mother just got out of a coma, if you struggle with mental health crises, they don't care. Even if you've already been approved for your housing voucher, it doesn't matter. This is real and happening now. It's happening to my family. Over 300,000 families across the United States can potentially lose their housing. Even with budget cuts, housing still has to follow the law. It is vital that if you have HUD, you speak up, know your rights, and share this.
Unit 615. We are here with the constable, and whoever's in here, they ran out of the back door. We know they were in here. The apartment is warm, and they were cooking, so everything is hot on the stove. And the back door has been kicked in. Constable popped that up until the maintenance guy came to secure it. He's waiting on the car.
Not only did our landlord shut our water and electricity off because Section 8 didn't pay our rent this month, they just changed our locks. They just changed our locks. We are sitting next door in the parking lot, not able to get in our own home. I called management. They are telling me the only way they are giving us the new key is if we pay rent right now, today. Not even giving us a warning. So not only did they turn our shit off illegally, they have now changed the locks on our door.
They couldn't wait to get you and them six badass kids out of them. You know? Soon as HUD didn't go through, they shut the utilities off, changed the locks. You know, I can tell her kids terrible. 6 kids that she got. And who the hell got her pregnant 6 times, man? What the hell is going on? Okay? But going back, this is the type of mind, all right, the mindset that has been developed on this government assistance. Okay? Now, 6 children, not a father in sight. Because they don't care about men. They don't look for men with father quality. They can just go be careless and just have random children because it's an increase on their government assistance. So they don't care about a man having fatherhood qualities, you know, or a man, you know, having father qualities, or a man even being around or trying to have some type of structure for the children. No, it's all on the government. The government got us. That's the mind. The government got us. Okay? So you could just go and make all these poor decision makers and still be good. All right. But what's happening, Esau was snatching the rug. Okay. Look into that term. We're going to that term. Esau snatching the rug, man. Okay. But you know they couldn't wait to get this nigga out of here, man. With them 6 badass kids, man. Okay, and then they said you can pay right now, but they know her poor ass ain't had no money, man. All right.
Everything we own is in that house. How can they do this? How? They won't give me the phone number to the owners, so I can't even get a hold of them. Police won't get involved.
Everybody can wait to get this nigga out. All right, you don't need to talk to the owners. Okay, you goddamn bum. You see, all these years on that, or this assistant, you ain't save up a penny. Okay, you don't need to talk to nobody. Skate, scram, go figure it out. Okay.
What can I do? What can I do? I have 6 kids and I can't even, I'm locked out of my own house. How is this legal?
Section 8 was never perfect, but it was something. A lifeline for over 2 million low-income households across the country. Families, seniors, disabled tenants, people who needed help staying housed. Now that lifeline is being pulled back. In 2025, the federal government is proposing major cuts to the Housing Choice Voucher Program, time limits, work requirements, citizenship crackdowns, and a budget that's shrinking faster than the patience of public housing authorities. The new rules suggest that able-bodied adults could lose their vouchers after just 2 years. That's not reform, that's a countdown. And if you're not working 20 hours a week, or if you miss a form, or if your household doesn't meet new criteria, you're out. Some people are already losing their homes, not just because of the cuts, but because they didn't take the program seriously, missed inspections, ignored lease terms, refused to follow basic rules, and now landlords are pulling out, cities are overwhelmed, and the people who need help most are being pushed out quietly, legally, and fast. This isn't just about policy. It's about what happens when a safety net becomes a trap, when support is offered but not protected, when housing is promised but not sustained, and if these cuts go through, over 3 million people, half of them children, could be at risk of eviction and homelessness. That's not speculation. That's the math.
I just started my first eviction. Nightmare scenario. Was hoping to never have to evict anyone from a property. Key lesson here: don't buy properties that have non-Section 8 tenants in them.
Here is the latest update on the Section 8 2-year time limit proposal and how it is being affected by the government, who's really literally dragging their feet. The deadline is September 30th. Let's get into it. So what's happening right now? Congress has not passed the FY 2026 budget yet, and the government is still on track to shut down at midnight September 30th unless the deal is reached. The Trump administration's for FY 2026 budget proposal includes a 2-year time limit on Section 8 and other federal housing programs for able-bodied adults. Elderly and disabled tenants would be exempt. This proposal is not yet a law. It's part of the budget bill that still needs to be passed by Congress. What the proposal will do, if passed: cap Section 8 assistance at 2 years for most adults, replace federal vouchers with state block grants, giving states control over rental assistance programs. I'm going to say that again. Replace federal vouchers with state-run block grants, giving states control over rental assistance programs. Impose work requirements, which we know 20 plus hours a week for able-bodied adults under 62. Demand citizenship verification from all public housing authorities, which we know that is happening now, which that's going to wrap up. And what's going to be the impacts of the government shutdown? If Congress doesn't pass the budget or continue with a resolution, HUD will operate with a skeleton staff. New Section 8 applications, renewals, and funding could be delayed or paused. Expiring contracts like PBRA and HAP agreements may not be renewed if the shutdown lasts more than 30 years. So if you're in the shelter and you're getting a Section 8 voucher, or you got called off the waiting list, or you have a transfer, anything that you have to do from a Section 8 perspective is going to be paused and nothing is going to be done. So it is insane. They're really trying to kick people off Section 8 after 2 years, even if they're working and they still can't afford rent. Trump's budget wants states to decide who gets help housing the most states. And most states don't care about poor people. Let's face it, most states do not care about poor people. It's just really, really ridiculous. And I hope that you guys take this seriously. That's why I say, like, pay your portion, don't fuck up. Section 8 is a blessing. You know, if Congress don't act by September 30th, HUD shuts down. No renewals, no vouchers. Serious.
HUD Secretary Scott Turner is turning off the programs. Yes, indeed. Paul Sperry, who is an intrepid journalist, reports developing Trump HUD is proposing a 2-year cap on fraud-infested Section 8 housing subsidies. And before you get your draws all up in a wad trying to say that it's not right with fraud, yeah, it is. Y'all tell on yourselves. We see you. You think we don't see you on TikTok on these videos talking about your...
And real quick, all right, let's go here because I just looked it up, dealing with Scott Turner, all right, and how ironic, all right, when you go to this guy, Scott Turner, okay, and who do you have? All right, Jake, okay, he used to play in the NFL, all right, but yeah, it's Jake that's over hood, okay. Rabbit got the gun, all right. So we're gonna see how this, and he's a conservative, okay. And you see he's right next, and you know, oh boy, this is getting interesting, man. Okay, straight Jake, man. So hey, we're gonna see. All right, well he's the one that's over hood. Okay, now let's let this play a little more, and then we got. So the brother put it up to pull the rug. All right. It said to pull the rug out from under someone, to suddenly or unexpectedly. This is the brother Isaiah Bishop. It said to suddenly or unexpectedly remove, all right, or rescind support, help, or assistance, all right, from someone, to abruptly leave someone in a problematic or difficult situation, man. And this is what's happening. Esau is pulling the rug out, all right, from the nigga woman, man. All right. This is what we see happening. Okay. And all people that's, you know, that took this, you know, system and made it a lifestyle, made it a crutch. Okay. So let's play this some more.
Section 8 housing, and you're in the store with 3 or 4 carts full of food, and then you get home and you start cooking the food and you show all the kids in the background and stuff. Y'all in the grocery store doing the dang on twerking and shit while other people are at work paying for you, sitting on your fat gross ass. I seen this female the other day and I'm like, golly, people are still doing this like it's the 80s again. Like, she has 9 kids, and she's pregnant with triplets. So that means before it's a wrap, she's gonna have 12 kids. Bitch, you about to struggle. I saw her other video, the subsequent video that she made, where she went from making all this food and waffles and all kinds of crap to another video because her food stamps got cut off, or at least greatly reduced. And she's making, like, she's rationing food, and you can see her rationing food out, and it's pretty bizarre, but you know, this is what it's come to. So Section 8 is going to be a program from now moving forward. You get on it 2 years. This is not the 80s where you get on it and you stay on it. You think we don't see you on TikTok making videos about how you, welfare workers, I wish I could find that woman so I could give her credit. She's a social worker, and she goes to people's houses and they talk to her about how to game the system. Like, they've been on the program on Section 8 for 30 years, and then she tells her daughter how to get on Section 8 and stay on Section 8 and get the vouchers. And then her granddaughter gets the Section 8 vouchers. And then it's just like generational poverty. Not teaching them how to be truly successful, but teaching them how to continually game the American welfare system. Yeah, those days are over, bitches. It's time for you to get up and find a trade. These trade schools, some of them are going to be free. Learn a trade. Show your kids that you're not just a welfare queen. Because, see, we're getting the foreigners up out of here, and now it's going to be up to you. Section 8 is only going to be a 2-year program. You're not going to be able to be on it for 20, 30 years anymore. This is glorious to watch. We'll continue to see the freakouts on TikTok. I'm here for it, baby.
God damn. Yeah, man, and E ain't finna get no goddamn trade. E Cyrus here. All right. But let's look this up and get some more precepts. But I had looked up real quick, because at the end of the day, it's not like it's a calculus problem. Okay, it's simple. And the Bible goes into these things. All right. It's simple. All right. And this is what Esau broke up. Okay. Because he made the nigga woman despise, okay, the Israelite man. Now, so comparing, all right, I went to the chat, said comparison to 2-parent black households to black single-parent households being the middle class. It says to compare 2 black parent households and black single-parent households in terms of being the middle class, we need to look at several key and economic demographic indicators. Okay, it says definition, okay, of middle class, all right, roughly defined as households earning between 2/3 and double the national median income adjusted, all right, for a household, all right, size. In 2023, their range was approximately 52,000 to 156,000 for, all right, a family of 3. Okay, now black 2-parent households, more likely to fall into the middle class, typically have dual incomes, increasing, all right, the total household earning. Higher household stability often correlates with upward mobility and wealth accumulation. Okay, so a lot of these women, they be crying about this and crying about that. Okay, the women that have, all right, structure, all right, they're working class, their husband is working class, they be okay. Okay, because they have these 2 incomes coming in, all right, and they're able to have a little more mobility. Okay, they're able to have more options to where they're not limited to where you can't work this many hours, you can't work that many hours, you can't stay here, you can't live here. The voucher don't cover this, it don't cover that, because that shit comes with so many stipulations. Okay, but when you start operating on the outside of this shit, then you can, because we're not here to be, crazy, rich or successful. Okay, but 2 incomes, okay, 2-parent, all right, situations are far better than this shit that has become a culture, okay, amongst, all right, the women of the tribes. It says black single-parent household, primarily led by single mothers, medium income is much lower, okay, than 2-parent household, face more economic vulnerability. Yeah, so you're in a position to where if your voucher doesn't come through, if they change the rules or stipulations of your vouchers, you're on the street. Okay, they change the stipulations with the food stamps, then yeah, it's a crisis. Okay, it says often below or on the lower end of middle class thresholds. It says, now this is simple math. Median income for black married couple families is 83,000. Median income for black single mother families is between 38,000 and 45,000. Now, it's simple math, okay? Because if you add, okay, 38,000 plus 45,000, what is that? 83,000. Okay, it's simple math. 2 incomes. Okay, and then the children have both parents. This is not no calculus. trigonometry problem. Okay, the assistance was a weapon. Government assistance was a weapon, man. It did nothing to forward, okay, anything. Okay, it assisted you in destroying yourself and being dependent on this society, man, and destroying generation, like you said. The grandmother put the daughter on game. The daughter put her, the mother put her daughter on game. So now you just have generations of this way of thinking, man. Okay, you see, you can. Oh man, and it just goes into, other things. But yeah, man. You see, it's just a major difference, and it just the simple thing of a two-parent household, okay, or a woman that has, a husband, or, can find himself in a far better situation. Okay, you can build a little bit, with this little society, with this, you know, liberty we got. You can build a little bit. You can pull something off, but you see. So let's go here. Uh, so when you had that as the majority, because going back, Black Wall Street was okay. Let's see. See if I can look that up too. Let's go here to Proverbs. Let's see, can I look that up? All right, but that used to be the majority. You see, and then when that was the majority, those two-parent households, the Israelite man with the Israelite woman, you can build a Black Wall Street or Durham, North Carolina, Rosewood, Florida. Okay, you can do though. You can pull that off. Okay, but when you got, HUD and vouchers and that shit, you can't do nothing. You're restricted as hell. Okay, then you buy yourself. All right, and it's a lot. You can get into the numbers of it. But it is what it is, man. We get the point of judgment now. All right. So this is Proverbs 23:1. It says, "When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee." Okay, just like going back to the garden, because it's speaking about eating. But see, in the spirit, it's speaking about what? A philosophy, a doctrine, a way. Okay, and Eve had that sit down with the ruler Esau, but she didn't consider diligently what was before her. Okay, she didn't look at the ripple effect of this and what this meant down the line, but it was good for the moment. You see, it was good for that moment. Proverbs 23:2, it says, "And put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite, be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat." Okay, and going back to the feminism and the government assistance and the sexual liberation and the women's liberation, those was all deceitful meats. Okay, it sounded good, it looked good. Okay, it's like, damn, he has our best interest. He wants us to win. The man is trying to hold us back. Because what did the serpent say to Eve? Like he put it to as if the Most High was holding her back. Adam was holding her back. Like Adam, he doesn't want you to tap into this because he doesn't want you to be a God. He doesn't want you to transcend. Okay, that's the game that the serpent came with Eve. So Esau came right back in the 60s as if he was allowing the woman to transcend. Like, look, you can be a Supreme Court judge. You can have a talk show. You can be so much more than a wife. That's so oppressive, and you're being suppressed. You're being held back. You can come over here. You can be a celebrity. You see, you can be this. You can be that. Okay, you can have fans. You can do this. Put you on the cover of my magazines. Put you high up at supervisor and manager positions in my corporate world. Okay, it was all deceitful meats. Or better yet, just take this assistance. Just don't have him around. Just I got you with it. You get new children, don't worry about. I got you. Every child you got, I'm gonna cover you. You know, it was all deceitful meats, man. Okay, and it says, I'm gonna jump down. Verse 6. It says, "Eat thou not the bread of him that have an evil eye." Yeah, because Esau, all right, has an evil eye toward the sons of God. All right, the tribes, man. He wants that lineage to be destroyed and be ruined. Okay. And he, all right, infiltrated the woman's mind, okay, to get her out of her position, her role, okay, within the house. Okay. And there was a domino effect from there, man. Okay. He said, "Neither desire thou his dainty meats." Okay. And the woman, she took those dainty meats. All right, they bread of deception, man. It said, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith to he, but his heart is not with thee, his mind." Okay, he never had your best interest in mind. Okay, and now he's pulling the rug. You see, now this devil is getting ready to pull that rug, man. Okay, and it's just gonna get worse, all right, and worse and worse. You know, going back, I'm gonna get this real quick. Pull the rug. Got some more on it. Okay, so it says to pull the rug. It says saying, all right, the saying "pull the rug from under me" is an idiom meaning to suddenly and unexpectedly withdraw support, stability, or assistance, leaving someone in a vulnerable or chaotic situation. It is used to describe a feeling of betrayal or sudden stabilizing change that was not anticipated, like being fired, all right, a project losing funding, or a relationship, sudden ending. All right. And their relationship between Eve and the serpent is ending, man. Okay. And it's gonna leave the woman in a very chaotic, destabilized position, man. Okay. It says sudden loss of support. This is the core meaning. It implies that ye were relying on something, whether it was financial, emotional, or practical support, and it was removed without warning, man. Okay. So this is what we're seeing the devil, okay, is pulling the rug. Okay. You see, this is what we're witnessing, the devil pulling the rug, man. Okay. Let me see. How many? Two. Look up this real quick. Household. Let me see. 2-parent household in the Wall Street, Black Wall Street community. So just look this up. See, to give us some. No, it really didn't give us nothing. Esau blocking that. It's all good, but something I'll look up another time. So yeah, that's the point. We leave it there. All right. Yeah, man. So yeah, bad news for the Bonnets, man, and it's gonna get worse. Their pride, that you know, you've been able to garner, all right, on these different systems, and whether you're, the career woman, or say a welfare queen, all right, either way, all right, you finna lose, all right, everything attached to this society and Esau's finna lose, okay, so Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. I'm gonna give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great example towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful Shalom.